first of a very happy 2016 to everybody watching. This video is going to be just a little bit more personal and something that I hope will strike a chord with somebody out there, and it's basically depression, my story. So I just wanted to do a video to show people that depression isn't the end of the world. You know, it's something that you can get through and you can come out the other end smiling. Basically, everyone knows the cliche, things get better. And when you have depression and you hear that, it's kind of like, ugh, whatever. But honestly, it really does get better. And just basically to prove my point, I just want to share my story so that people can see that I got through it and I couldn't be happier. So let me tell you about me. So I grew up in Cork. It's quite a big city here in Ireland, well, for Irish standards. And I guess in school I never really felt like I fit in. You know, I always knew I was different. I never saw myself as the, like, you know, pretty or like popular by any means. And you know, I didn't feel like I just fit into just school. You know, I was good enough at school. I was smart-ish, but I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but basically coming to the end of school, you know, I was also kind of struggling with my sexuality, and I didn't feel like I could talk to anyone in school because, you know, I always worried that they would be like, ew, gross, lesbian, you know, and call me, you know, a dyke, and just make fun of me. Not my closer friends, but even with them, I kind of felt like I'd lose my friends because, you know, if they thought I was the gay one, that I might, you know, come on to them, or stupid things that just filled my head, basically. I mean, everyone knows that girls can be mean, and I guess I was afraid that, you know, I would be a target, that I'd basically be someone with a bullseye in their head if I came out as the only gay in the school. But even at that, I didn't know if I was gay. You know, I was confused. I didn't know. Do I like girls? Do I like guys? Do I like both? Do I like, what the hell do I like? You know, and I just didn't want to be a laughing joke. You know, I didn't want to be the running joke in the school, like, oh, there goes the old, you know, school lesbian. No, I kind of put all these thoughts into my head, and that was it. I just started getting really down about it. But I mean, there was other things going on as well that I won't get into. But you know, it was just my head started going into a downward spiral. Basically, it felt like I was in a prison in my own mind, and that, you know, I was putting myself down, like, all the time, like, and I felt like I wasn't good enough for things, and it wasn't good. And basically I decided that, you know, I might feel better if I self-harmed, which is ridiculous because, I mean, it might make you feel better, and I mean, for me it kind of did, but it doesn't last long. It lasts a couple of seconds, and in the long run you're hurting yourself. I mean, it's not worth it. It's not, like, no one is worth that. And you know, it was, even doing it made me disappointed in myself, kind of deep down, that I was willing to go to that kind of length. You know, deep down in the back of my mind, I knew what I was doing was wrong, but you know, I just couldn't cope. I'm not gonna lie, one day I did decide, you know, that I had to talk to somebody about it. So I opened up to a friend, but then she went distant. She basically didn't talk to me, and I didn't know what I'd done wrong. And then at the same time I kind of did. I mean, I was like, does she just not like me anymore because I told her, you know, about me? You know, you kind of feel like someone, they don't care. And lo and behold, I did get an email from her saying that she couldn't cope, and therefore she had to distance herself, and you know, she didn't know what to do about it. So she kind of just, she left stage right gone from my life, and it devastated me because I'd finally opened up, and the one person that I thought I could talk to was the person who turned their back. And it definitely made me worse. So after that, I bottled it all up. I'd cry when home was around, and I was self-harming, and it just got to a point that I couldn't take it anymore. And I think it was, I don't know what happened in my head, but something clicked, and I just told myself, you need to sort your shit out. So I eventually told my parents, and honestly it was the best thing I've ever done. I know how much it upset them to hear, but by telling them, I got help. I went to a psychiatrist, and I went to a counsellor. I was put on antidepressants, but to be honest, what helped me was talking. It wasn't the antidepressants. For me, I figured out that it didn't even have to be a counsellor. Talking to somebody who was willing to listen just helped in more ways than you can imagine. That was 6 or 7 years ago. And guess what? I'm so happy in myself. I have an amazing girlfriend. I have great friends. I know who I can trust, and I know who I can talk to. And I mean, I've traveled so many parts of the world, and I've lived in Dublin. I have a great job. Basically what I'm saying is, trust me. If you need to talk, you should talk to someone. Anyone, be it a parent, a sister, a brother, a friend. They are willing to listen. People will listen to you, and it makes so much difference to get things off your chest. It was the best thing I ever did, and I'm not saying it was like I talked to somebody and I was better like that. It was a wrong road, but I mean, 6 or 7 years later, of course, I am so much better. But listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. I get bad days. Everyone gets bad days. It's not a weakness. It's human nature. Life isn't all puppies and rainbows, and things happen in life that get you upset. But that's okay. Don't worry about that. It's completely normal. But just don't let it consume you. Just remember, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and your life is a book, an empty book that you get to write. You get to fill with adventures and love and all the things that you want. Your life is your path. You just got to do what makes you happy. You don't have to live up to anyone else's standards. You're the only one that matters in your life. Well, as in, other people matter. But what I mean is, you need to focus on you too. So, like I said, I get bad days too, just like anybody else. For example, in 2012, I was living in Dublin, and my house was broken into, and I woke up and was basically tied up for 5 or 6 hours. It was horrible. I couldn't actually put into words how I felt, but I'll try. I was crapping myself. It was just the scariest thing that has ever happened in my life. For somebody who's addicted to Criminal Minds, it was very Criminal Minds-esque. I honestly thought that I could possibly die that night. After that happened, all I could think of is I survived, and now I'm gonna continue to live my life. I'm not gonna let this guy ruin it. So basically what I did was talk. Clearly I liked to talk, but I just talked as much as I could to anybody who would listen at that point, who I trusted enough to talk to. But I just talked and talked and talked, and until basically I felt okay about it all. Until I felt like, alright, look, It's in the past. Time to move on, continue living my life. And I did. You know, I look back at it as something crazy that happened in my life, but not something that took over my life. And I think that's an important thing to remember, that one thing that happens in your life doesn't have to define your life. It doesn't have to take over your life. Here's another cliche for you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. So keep smiling. Smile and talk and live your life. And share this, you know, with anyone and everyone that you think could benefit from hearing that, you know, it's your life and you gotta live it. And while you're there, you could possibly press the subscribe button. Thanks for listening, and you know, if you want to contact me and tell me your stories or anything at all, you know, why not? I'm happy to read other people's stories. You can get me on Twitter, you can get me, you can just, you know, comment below, anything at all. I would be happy to listen and I guess continue having a great 2016, everybody.